coming up on this episode of the Village Idiom.
Did you know that before Patti LaBelle became world-renowned R&B recording artist, her first dream was to be a hairdresser? And then he says, I kind of wish that had actually happened. Like, okay. He says, because how great would it be to be shaved by LaBelle?
Dum dum da da, Village Idiom.
Hello and welcome to the Village Idiom.
Yes, y'all. It's a podcast that takes a shallow dive into a popular idiom or phrase or saying or something like that, and we'll look at its meaning, its origins, and generally just use it to hang our conversation on.
That's awesome. Did you say that in one breath?
I think I need to breathe more. My name is Jurassic Mark.
And then he just passes out.
To my side is Skinny Albert.
It's good to be here. Great
Good
week,
to be
man.
here. Good. Yeah, what have you been doing this week? Anything fun?
Well, just still...
Are you back to work, getting into the groove?
Yeah, back to it, reveling still. My mind is still away.
We've got some good weather again.
It's awesome.
Get that rain behind us. Did you have good weather on that trip you were telling us about?
Yeah, so one thing that was like only half thought about when I was going, like, Yellowstone, you just think of it as like the, this volcano and all the geysers and all the rest of that sort of thing, but it's parts of it are at like 2 miles high.
Oh.
And so for the bulk of the trip, you're at least a mile and a half
just
high.
wheezing the whole time.
Well, just in general, that's my disposition. So as that lovely bouquet of sulfur dioxide flows through the air.
Oh, funny. I never thought about that.
And then maybe the elevation.
Is that the kind of situation where people are wearing masks or not?
Oh,
really?
No. It just stinks like rotten eggs everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, but who cares, right? You're like literally watching water shoot out of the ground. It's amazing.
That's cool.
Yeah. Definitely a fun adventure. So,
good.
Glad to be back. How about you?
Same thing. I'm just happy that there's sunshine this week. Take the top off the Jeep and roll around.
You were brown, my dude.
I am loving the sunshine. It's probably going to take me out in the end, but I love the sunshine.
We knew it got him. I don't mind going out on what I know.
Right. Well, just
if it was my own doing.
It's funny. He died the way he lived.
Drinking chocolate milkshakes. Like, what got him? Chocolate milkshakes.
His life.
Yeah.
Everything he's been doing
While
for the last.
He was alive, he lived.
Whoa.
Deep.
It's
a little too deep for this podcast.
Well, let's get into it. We've got another idiom for today, and I'm going to make it so blatantly obvious what we're talking about today, because it goes a little something like this.
It's alright, 'cause I'm saved by the bell. It's alright, 'cause I'm saved by the bell.
Wow, that's the one.
Starting over.
We're getting right into an episode.
Yeah, we should. Let's just pause for a second. Saved by the Bell.
Well,
that's today's idiom.
Interesting on people that were so into the show. As we were preparing for Saved by the Bell.
Couldn't help but bring this up, right?
Well, yeah, of course.
Everything you search.
It was the thing. Saved by the Bell. It's hard to find anything else. And then when I was going through the news with Saved by the Bell, up came a story of Kevin Bacon.
Okay.
But not the actor Kevin Bacon, just some general man named Kevin Bacon.
No way.
Yeah, 55-year-old dude who struck a police car, hit a police car while searching for vintage episodes of Saved by the Bell on his phone while he was driving.
No way.
He's driving. It's like, what happened? It's like, I was looking up Saved by the Bell. And not like some young kid who didn't know better. Yeah, 55-year-old dude named Kevin Bacon struck a police officer.
What a funny collection of details.
Yeah, that's why I had to bring it up.
Funny. Hits a police. It doesn't get in an accident. Gets in an accident with a police car.
Named Kevin Bacon.
Looking
up Saved by the Bell.
That's awesome.
That just happened to June 18th of this year.
Really?
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Life is way more interesting than just the made up stuff.
That's so great.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Funny. I was like, I thought you were going to like the 7. What is it? The 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon, whatever.
6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. You've got a close one, don't you?
I do. Well, maybe, probably closer than others. I've met some people.
Yeah.
But I don't know what my closest one is.
Yeah, I'm severely. I probably closer to the Kevin Bacon who struck the car.
Did Kevin Bacon ever meet Jake the Snake?
Exactly. Because then I'm in. I'm 1 degree.
Well, if you know Kevin Bacon, is that 1 degree?
That's 1 degree. Yeah.
Okay.
So you gotta be. It could be a 2 degreer.
I might be a 2.
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
I remember going through this.
The
before.
very
I think I
few
was a
celebrities I've met.
Yeah.
But is that all it take? Is you get to meet them?
Well, I don't know.
'Cause,
It's like I saw a guy from a distance.
I got my picture taken with Chris Farley. I'm sure he met Kevin
and he
Bacon.
danced the Maniac dance for you, didn't he?
That's a different movie.
No. The
Flash dance.
Chris Farley doing "I'm a Maniac."
Yeah. You're
Was that
thinking
from,
you're thinking Footloose.
No. So mine was. Didn't Chris Farley dance that for you?
Yeah.
So Chris Farley is, as long as he knows Kevin Bacon, but it wasn't that he was doing a Footloose dance. It was that Chris Farley knows Kevin Bacon.
I hope.
Who did the dance for you? Chris Farley did.
Right.
Yeah, the Maniac dance.
I'm getting lost in my own story.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. Your stories are so amazing that I have to
replay them for me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was amazing.
Oh, that was so fun.
My life is awesome.
I met Chris Farley at an Applebee's.
Yeah.
We were waiting for him to get his autograph, or actually, I don't think we got his autograph. We just chatted with him for a bit and got our picture taken with him. But there was a Blockbuster in the parking lot of the Applebee's.
Oh my goodness!
And I'm like, I'm going to see if I can find Tommy Boy on VHS or whatever, DVD, I guess, and bring it back. And they're sold out. They didn't even have it for. I would have stolen the rental if I could have found it.
That would be amazing.
I just need
a signed copy of Tommy Boy.
Yeah.
Wow.
That would have been great, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, he was in the middle of filming that one with, is it Matthew Perry? So like Lewis and Clark kind of style. It's like Western explorers.
I don't know.
I can't think of the name. It was a terrible movie.
On this movie, I went to on this vacation that happened a couple weeks back.
Speaking of Lewis and Clark,
I was in the Lewis and Clark caverns.
Trail? In the what?
In their caverns, the Lewis and Clark caverns.
They have caverns?
Cavern State Park, yeah.
What does that mean? They stayed there, or?
So in the trail where they traveled along the river, like up the hill from that, so they never personally went to these caverns. They're big, massive limestone caves that are enormous. Like fully like stand up. You could put a house inside some of these caves, but inside of a mountain.
Right.
And so it's Lewis and Clark Cavern State Park.
Even though they've never been in them.
Though they've never been to them.
Perfect.
Their stories are so
degrees
interesting.
of Lewis and Clark.
Their degrees. It's so interesting that I have to keep their stories straight.
That's funny.
Yeah. So
all right. Well, Saved by the Bell obviously means what you think it means. You're rescued by a last-minute intervention. Think you're down and out, and something intervenes, saves the day. So
I had read that a possible iteration into there from 18th century was this thing called the Safety Coffin.
Wait.
Did you come across this?
Wait 1 second.
All right.
Where'd they go? Where'd they go? No one can know. I turned around and looked behind. Those words came from another mind. Origins.
I'm sorry, what were you saying about the 1800s?
The origins. Sorry, I jumped the gun. Yeah, that 1800s. This thing, the safety coffin.
Yes.
Was so that if hypothetically someone was buried alive, that they had a means to communicate from 6 feet under. Like, I'm still alive. I'm still here. It was a mistake.
It was rigged up like a cable or
a safety coffin or a security coffin. Which
So inside the coffin, there's a string that runs up to the above ground with a little bell. So if you wake up, you can ring the bell and someone can save your life.
That sounds like it's like a good idea, but not going to last for too long.
Well, not the way people are buried now. You've been embalmed and you're not coming back.
If you're ringing the bell.
If you were,
it's the Thriller video.
So the truth is, there's a widespread notion that Saved by the Bell does come from it was an expression that came from people being buried alive, which back in the 1600s, 1700s, 1800s, that was a real fear. I mean, it's a fear for anyone to be buried alive, right? Like, it's kind of the worst way to go.
Have you ever seen any of those magician television programs where they like Chris Angel buried alive or David Blaine buried alive? Or
I don't think so. What happens?
Well, it was the premise that you could be buried alive, and so apparently it's an actual technique that is like a life or death technique, that during the burying alive phase, they're in their coffin, and as the dirt starts coming in, that they push the coffin lid up on an angle so that they are propped up.
Right.
And then the dirt does actually fill in, but that they do create a void behind it that they can have enough air to actually work their way out from.
Because
so
the weight,
the
weight of the dirt would keep the lid.
Yeah, so that it's not a trick. Like
they're actually getting out.
They're actually being buried alive. Was the
yeah,
but like you screwed up, you're crushed by the dirt. Or I think David Blaine did his with cement.
Of course,
cement
it was.
truck.
Yeah. Of course it was.
If I find an ace of spades in my shorts, David Blaine
figured out some way to actually breathe in concrete, and
for months leading up to it, I breathed in a little concrete every day.
So it was a real fear. People were buried alive. Like, it was possible. They didn't have the medical
Where were the
advancement.
doctors?
But they didn't know. It was a long time ago. But there was a few quotes. One I wrote down here, just people in general. This is a quote from George Washington on his deathbed, just because he was afraid. And he's like, "Have me decently buried, but do not let my body be put into a vault in less than 2 days after I'm dead." It was like just
to be
make
sure. Okay. I don't mind dying, but don't do me in early.
So the safety coffin thing, there's like, you can look up the patents and the drawings and the whole, it was a real thing. But funny enough, there's website after website about safety coffins, some with glass so you could see their face, and some with the ringing bell because they're 6 feet under.
If it's steaming, stop putting dirt on it.
Exactly. But there's zero. Like, try and find a single case where the window or the ringing the bell above ground saved someone's life. It never happened, but it was a fear. It was the potential was there that you could be buried alive because you're in a coma, and
it's fun at the beach.
It's fun being buried alive
at the beach when you're like do legs or up to by your neck, and then you put a towel on, and
it's fun, and until you realize you cross that line where you're like, I can't move. It's freaking me out a little bit. I need help. Right. It switches from like, bury me and make sculpt the sand.
This was amazing, and now I'm in fear.
Back in the 18th, 19th century, cholera epidemics just stoked those same fears about being buried alive, which was exactly what led to the safety coffins. But you won't find any example of anybody actually being saved from that bell above ground. So another assumption, which I think we've all actually used in real life, is that Saved by the Bell came from a school situation.
Nice.
Where you've got an assignment, you're doing public speaking in front of your class. All right, Skinny, you are up. And
okay, just one moment while I gather my papers. Oh, I'll have to do it tomorrow.
I guess you're doing it tomorrow because you weren't prepared in the first place. You were saved by the bell. But again, that one's used, but it's not the origins.
How about boxing?
Boxing is the correct answer.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. It just like you would kind of expect. Saved by the Bell comes from sport of boxing. But you might not know the reasons or the history, which is a little tiny bit interesting. Saved by the Bell originated, it was an attempt in the mid-19th century in England to basically develop and codify boxing rules. Like, I think boxing existed, but it was just like you get in there, you brawl till someone's not moving.
That's called fighting, I think.
Yeah. And so they tried to make it more sport-like, which brought in the 3-minute rounds and the counting. If you do go down, you've got 10 seconds to get back up,
so which is doesn't keep pummeling you.
Which is, maybe we'll come to this, is a different idiom. If you're down for the count, comes from boxing. You were down for the count, but you might not be down.
I have an amazing tie-in for you.
Okay.
Celebrity boxing is an actual thing. Celebrity boxing with Dustin Diamond.
Dustin Diamond.
Who is Screech from Saved by the Bell.
Is he actually done the celebrity boxing?
He has done celebrity boxing.
Is that his real name, Dustin Diamond?
Dustin Diamond.
Wow.
Yeah, that sounds made up.
It does sound made up. It's like Dustin Diamond.
Dustin Diamond's stage name, Dustin Diamond.
And so he was into the celebrity boxing?
Celebrity boxing.
I remember Tanya Harding or somebody doing that.
With like Nancy Kerrigan?
Probably.
That'd be why?
Takes her glove off. There's a pipe under the glove.
That's funny. The like Screech showed up in
he's been in the news for a few things.
Yeah, not all good.
Not all good.
But it was either Saved by the Bell or offshoots of Saved by the Bell. Like,
were there spin-offs of Saved
by the Bell, the college years?
Oh yeah.
Saved by the Bell, the new class.
Right.
And then he makes appearances or shows up.
I think he showed up as a teacher.
Where you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. He hasn't changed a lot.
Nope, he looks like Screech.
He's
Still looks like Screech.
Yeah, so Dustin Diamond, celebrity boxing for Saved by the Bell. Dustin Diamond for Saved by the Bell. Double whammy.
That's hilarious. Yeah, so comes from boxing, and you could be down 1, 2, and if that bell rings even at 9, you have been saved by the bell. That your coaches can come in, scoop you up, back in your corner.
Don't get knocked down. Till
there's been
2:51.
reports of matches, popular matches, where the guy was down for the count, multiple rounds.
Wow.
And just like hanging in there by a thread every time.
Yeah, I'm sure he's got
Saved
some
by the
lovely
Bell.
brain injury now.
Yeah.
That's in terms of Screech, when I came up Screech and Saved by the Bell. Have you heard of the phrase being screeched?
No.
Or the Screech ceremony?
Is it from him? From
No,
that
it's got
character?
nothing to do with him.
Oh.
So they're in Screech inducted or any of these types of things, where in Newfoundland there is a hazing process where you are screeched,
Okay.
which you have to kiss a cod and then take a shot of Screech rum.
Okay.
And so once you do that, you've been screeched. You
Interesting.
get screeched in. Yeah.
That seems like there's harder versions of hazing out there.
I haven't seen the cod.
You would kiss a fish and have a drink?
I don't know if it's just for like killing whatever weird cod
Wait, what
bacteria.
kind of kissing? How long for?
It just gets worse.
Is it the same cod for years and it's just like decomposed?
Kiss this pile of mush that used to be a cod.
Used to be a cod.
Canned cod.
You have a 50% chance of surviving.
That's what the drink is for, is to kill the bacteria.
And then you take the Screech drink, you collapse.
You've been
They
screeched
start
in.
counting. 1, 2, and if you can get back up, you're in.
Yeah, funny little... Well, I just think it's funny that a whole like provincial hazing.
It's called being Screech.
Yeah, it'd be like if BC we're gonna say like we're gonna beaver smack you or something like that. Where it's like what you gotta do.
If you want to be a Canadian,
You're gonna have to drink this moonshine, and we're gonna
kiss this
smack
moose
you
and then hit you
across
with a beaver
the
tail.
face with a beaver tail, like a whole butt of a beaver. You got beavered in, my friend.
Stop.
Well, I don't know. What would you do for like other provinces?
I don't know other provinces. That's it.
Saskatchewan?
But beaver.
You got weeded.
That's not BC. The beaver is Canadian.
No. It's only in BC.
Get out of here.
What is only in
it's-
BC? A black bear Jew?
That's
a grizzly
Come
Jew?
on, they're-
Oh yeah,
the
they're
Rockies.
in Wyoming.
They're everywhere.
Well, I guess we don't have any.
We don't have any BC. I mean, the only. Nope, that wouldn't be BC. It'd be Canadian related things.
So, anyways,
Anyways.
Saved by the Bell.
Rabbit Trail.
Bing, bing.
The rabbit. We're the
rabbit.
only ones. Saved by the Bell. So the expression Saved by the Bell was probably in use by the later part of the 1800s, with its earliest print appearance that I could find in 1893 in a Massachusetts newspaper, the Fitchburg Daily Sentinel. And it was, of course, referring to a boxing match. But it's the first time it was in print. And then soon after became common saying, regardless of the topic. It didn't have to be about boxing.
Saved by the Bell.
Yep, Saved by the Bell. So very late 1800s. It was in normal everyday English language.
I love it when a meeting happens and crosses its completion time, but it doesn't end.
What do you mean?
So it's like, oh, like this meeting should be, it's like 11:30. This meeting should be over. It's like 11:35, and you're wishing for a Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, like why isn't it like school when?
Yeah.
We gotta go.
Maybe that's just like subconsciously from school that you've had it drilled into you.
If you know the meeting's supposed to end at 11:30.
You bring your own bell.
Yeah, just. Oh, sorry guys. I thought we were gonna be done at 11:30. I'll be right back.
Bing, 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 bing.
And usually, if you make something, sorry, I told them to wait till we were done. I thought we'd be done. Usually, the head of the meeting will go, "Oh no, that's fine. All right, yeah, we're overdue." It's a move.
Right.
You should do it.
No,
We've been in many same meetings. I'm going to leave that up to you to
Yeah,
do.
I'm not doing that. It's a bad idea. I know a bad idea when I hear one. That's one of them.
I have a joke for you coming up.
Sure.
But while I was preparing for today, my son, who is a listener,
Okay.
his username is Beetlebat, and he's like, "What's the idiom you guys are talking about this week?" And I said, "Oh, it's Saved by the Bell." And he's like, "Oh, are you using the TV show?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "No, you have, like, how can you not reference?" I'm like, "Okay, I'll open with the theme song." But he goes, "Do you have a joke yet?" I'm like, "I'm working on something," but I gave him a little hint of what I was working on. And he goes, "I got a joke for you." So I'm going to give you the joke he gave me.
Oh, perfect.
And we'll get a bonus joke. So this is a joke submitted by Beetlebat out there. He said this: "Did you know that before Patti LaBelle became world-renowned R&B recording artist, her first dream was to be a hairdresser?" And then he says, "I kind of wish that had actually happened." I'm like, okay. He says, "Because how great would it be to be shaved by LaBelle?"
That's good.
Pretty good, eh?
Yeah, he's a clever kid, man. That's
Shaved by LaBelle.
Shaved by LaBelle. Funny. Out of all the things, I never went there.
Yeah.
Like with any
I was
wordplay.
laughing. I'm like, that's great. My joke isn't as good as his. I'll give it to you in a little bit, but
Well, I'll get you going on mine.
okay, we'll do it. We'll do all the
All right,
jokes
all
right
right.
now.
Okay, Bessie the cow.
Bessie the cow.
Bessie the cow. She tried out as a hockey goalie. She was so big, she filled most of the net. But and amazingly, so the coaches were in and observing Bessie to see, like, is she going to be any good? She's a cow. How good could a cow be as a hockey goalie? Well, sure enough, shots come in. Bessie, boom, out goes a hoof. So not only is she enormous and fills up the net, but she's got crazy fast reflexes. Shot, boom, utter. She's safe. She's safe. Even one rings one right off of her throat. Boom, Saved by the Bell. It actually happens. At the very end of it.
I thought that'd be the punchline right there. Saved by the Bell.
No, I'm messing with you these days. And the coaches were amazed at her and her amazingness, and walked over to at the end, but with kind of like down faces, said, "Bessie, we can't have you playing for us. This is a men's league." Ooh. I just went slightly deaf there for a second. I'm blacking out.
If you're watching on YouTube, sorry to disappear. I collapsed on the couch behind us. That's fantastic. Oh my goodness. You could draw that out a long time. That's so good.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. I'm impressed. That is 2 weeks in a row. Your jokes have been misleading and fantastic.
That's what I was like, because there's like just the fruit, the easy fruit, and I'm like, you start with the fruit.
I know. It's always like a play on words, like shaved by the bell. No, that was a good one.
That was a good one. But then I'm like, you deserve a little more. And sometimes it comes, sometimes it doesn't.
Immensely. Okay. So this is how terrible my joke is. You and my son win. My joke. Her father, Maurice, he was captured by the beast, but he didn't remain in prison. Do you know why? He was saved by the bell.
Got it.
Yeah.
Funny, because I started off with trying to research her last name for later on for riddlings.
Oh, interesting. Does she have one?
No.
It's just Bell.
Just Belle.
Oh,
she has no last name.
Does Maurice have a last name?
I didn't even think to look for that.
Right.
Yeah, because she would obviously be that.
In that era, it'd be like Belle, Maurice's daughter.
The inventor's daughter.
Yeah, the inventor's daughter. Yeah. So my joke.
That's good.
Clean,
That's good.
simple. But you guys win. That was great. This is a men's league. Okay, let me give you something here. Give you a little.
It all adds up. I mean, you're obsessed with her. It's always, "Ross, what are you going to do about Rachel? Ross, why are you moving in with Rachel? When are you going to confess your secret marriage to Rachel? You want her." Uh-oh, Saved by the Bell.
That's awesome.
That little quote. I love finding these things in the pop culture world. It's actually, you would laugh, the stuff I come across that either doesn't work or it's not clear, but I'm like, oh man, such great
Close
references.
enough. That's pretty funny. I was out on my road trip, came across, before we get into our final riddlings, whatnot, a candy store in Phillipsburg, Montana.
Okay.
And so you're thinking, a candy store, we've all been to candy stores. This, I'm trying to think of like a size comparison. It must have been like 80 feet long by like 30 feet wide, filled maybe 4 or 5 shelves high of those small glass urns with candies.
Yeah. Like bulk style.
Bulk style, everything different. There was like 50 kinds of gummy bears.
Wow.
50 kinds of like this, 50 kinds of that.
He just separates everything. It's like he buys Skittles and then here's the red Skittle container.
So it was the most amazing. So we're like, I saw it online before we went, but we were heading in Friday and it was closed Saturdays. I'm like, I got one chance to go to this place.
Amazing candy store. What was it called?
It was the Candy Palace.
Nice.
It's a nothing of a town except this monstrosity of a candy store inside. And so there's other like little trinkety type stores along the way, but we're like, we gotta get there. And I'm like, in my minivan and my 10 trailer. It's like, gotta get there. I'm like, we're gonna make it. We got like 10 minutes left. We'll drop you guys off because like if we miss it, they were closed on Saturdays of all days to be closed. And so, but as we came running through,
Were they open Sundays?
we were coming through for this one little window of time.
I know, but like,
maybe.
I'm just curious. Like
Maybe.
the one day they choose
Probably.
to be is Saturday when everyone's out.
Probably. I don't know what the reasoning was. But anyways, as we come through, you're like waiting to come into Candy Oven, and then ding ding ding.
Yes.
The sound.
The classic
You just entered a
bell hanging from the thing.
Yeah, Saved by the Bell. That's what got me. That bell coming in at the last minute. Save.
I thought
I got 10 minutes.
I wondered if, speaking of a bell like that, I don't know if you got into what was that? Made Old English. We referenced it the other day. Both of our wives watched it. It's like the Butlers downstairs and
Downton Abbey.
Downton Abbey. I can never remember the name of that show, but I wondered if there was any reference to that because they had bell systems running through the whole mansion, right? Where you could ring a bell in the upper suite and it'd
like
be
Titanic.
like I wondered if there's any reference to that, but it didn't come up as any connection to Saved by the Bell. But I guarantee somebody's probably been more saved by that bell. Like I fall and I can't get up to reach my.
It's like these middle centuries alert bracelet things.
Yeah, it's
like,
a rope on the wall.
It's like it's a rope attached to your like neck thing. It's like, well, I fall.
It's just the right.
Get up.
It's just connected from your collar to the wall.
It can't be.
Then it's up to them to decide if we want to go up. She's really ringing that thing.
It's when she stops ringing it that you got to worry.
I would imagine that there's been a few hikers saved by their bear bell.
Yeah.
Saved by the Bell.
Absolutely. Keeping the bears at bay.
We used to use a bear bell on my daughter when she was a toddler. We'd go camping or whatever. Not because of bears, though. Just to, as long as I could hear that bell, I knew she was around.
Right. It's close
like,
enough.
Don't wander off.
Why parent when you can just throw a bear bell onto your kid?
She's still with us. She's saved by the bell.
She's alive. What do you want?
It's still working.
Don't judge me like that.
Well, I want to explain the rules of Riddlink, but we want everybody to get involved and to contact us with answers. Or if you've ever been saved by a bell, tell us your Saved by a Bell story.
We'd love to hear it. You can reach out to us via Gmail at thevillageidiompodcast@gmail.com or via Instagram at the.village.idiom on your Instagram, or through YouTube, Facebook, Twitter at 3 Minutes Gone, all one word.
Yes. So Riddlink is a game we made up that is a 2-part trivia-based riddle or question that requires a 2-part overlapping answer. And so we'll go back and forth with a couple here. I don't know how many you have.
I got 2. I'm going to start you off with something simpler.
Okay.
Build up your confidence.
Sounds
Send
good.
you into something harder. So see if you can beat Jurassic Mark to this. This Bayside high school sitcom causes half my face to get paralyzed.
Saved by the Bell's palsy.
You got it right away.
As soon as you said, see if you could beat Jurassic Mark, I'm like, I'm going to say this as quick as possible. That's a good one.
Bell's palsy. I'm not sure. I didn't know if that was on your radar.
I know a single person who experienced it, and now I know the phrase.
Okay, well, there you go. Yeah. What do you got for me?
All right. If you are rescued at the last minute, but smack your stomach on the water.
Saved by the belly flop.
There you go.
Wow, I like it. This is a little more offbeat. Okay?
Yeah.
This is way more offbeat. It's a hard one. Let's see if our illegitimate children can beat you to it. Done in the final moment of Doc's DeLorean.
Done. Say it one more time.
Done in the final moment. It's a little different. It's not the phrase you're thinking.
Okay.
Related. Done in the final moment of Doc's DeLorean.
Okay. In the nick of time machine?
Yes.
Oh.
I'm impressed. That wasn't easy.
I was stuck on flux capacitor for a while.
Wow.
I'm like, maybe it's just time machine. Then I got nick of time. That was a good one. In the nick of time machine.
Wow. Well, let's send us home with something juicy.
All right. This is for all you listeners. So we want you to contact us, whether you have a story. That's what I'm really hoping for. A story where you've been saved by the bell, last minute rescuing, or if you can answer this riddle-link. He played AC Slater on Saved by the Bell, and when you tilt his head back, candy comes out his neck.
That's so good. I got that one right away. So I hope you have enjoyed today's episode.
I know I have.
Because Mark has too. I am Skinny.
I am Jurassic Mark Paul Gosselar.
And these are the Village Idioms.
Oh, goodness.
That's 3 minutes done.